I'm Linda Segerstam, and this is your fourth session of the 7 minutes in 7 days beginner series 1. So I've adjusted my mat today so I can do leg slides. Now you might have somewhere to slide, but my mat doesn't. So I'm going to come down from here and then go into the relaxation position. So the leg slides are keeping your feet connected into the floor, but we're going to slide with the heels. So arms are down by your side, and then we start sliding the leg and then bring it back in. So the legs are going in straight lines, and all you're trying to do here is keeping your hips really nice and level, and then nothing else going on around shoulders, but we're trying to open up the front of the hip, and we're trying to pull into your stomach muscles when the leg comes back in again. So I'm going to slow it down. I'm going to glide the leg out and then pull in from the heel. So I'm pushing the heel out, stretching, and then pulling the heel back in again. So the toes will rise and then they will connect into the floor. And again, and then come back. And the hips are staying really stable. They're moving and rocking side to side. One more, and then change into your curl up. So starting to work with your abdominal muscles now. So we're trying to keep the rib cage from flaring, and then taking the hands behind the head, elbows are going to lift slightly. Now you can always place a block on the head if you want to give yourself a bit of height, so it's not too high to go. But the stronger you get, the more the spine will be in line with the head and neck. So from here, we're going to lift small chin tuck, and then we're going to let the eyes start traveling towards the top of the knees, and then placing the shoulders back down. So I'm lifting the head and the shoulders, and then coming down into the floor. So it's rolling up into a C curve of the spine, and then lift, look towards your knees, and then coming back down again. So don't tuck your chin in too much. It's still a bit of space here, but we're trying to create an even curve so we're not overloading the neck. And again, lift up, look towards your knees, and then place the head and shoulders down. We do two more with just this without squeezing into the hips. So the hips and pelvis stay almost still. And then back down again. Let's do one more. So we lift the shoulders, look towards the top of the knees, and then taking the head and shoulders down. And then change and put those two together. So you're going to bring the hands back behind your head again. Lift the head and shoulders and stay up. And then we're going to glide the foot. So we're going to glide heel out, bring it back in again. Glide the other heel out, bring it back in, and then take your head and shoulders down. So we lift up into our curl up, and then glide the heel away, pulling the heel back in again. And again, gliding out, open up the front of the hip, pulling the heel back in again, and then take the head and shoulders down. So we just keep going and just alternate the leg that you start with. So it's not just the same side all the time. And then glide, and then back in, and then head and shoulders down. So roll the head and shoulders up, and then glide the leg, bring it back in, and then out, and then back in. Now see if we can do 2 leg slides on both sides. So we lift the head and shoulders, staying up. You can feel the abdominal muscles now hugging in towards the hip. And then we glide the leg out, slowly coming back in again. So this is now your lower abdominal muscles pulling in with that heel. And I'm going to do one more, both sides, and then out, and then coming back in, and now taking the head and shoulders down. Do it a couple of times. So we lift the head and shoulders, and this is now your core, how we start working with core muscles. Now you can always take your head down if it feels too much, otherwise just lengthen out, look towards the top of the knee, and out, and then back in, and then head and shoulders down. Now I'm going to breathe out to lift, because it's making it easier, and then glide the leg out, bring the heel back in, glide the leg out, bring the heel back in. One more time, both sides, and back, and then glide, bring the knee back in, and now give yourself a rest. So we come to a different exercise now, which is a knee roll. So I'm going to just take the mat out of it, so I've got a bit of space for my hands as well. Now from here, the knee roll is not hip roll. So we're going to not bringing the feet together, we're going to keep them apart. And the movement comes from your knees, not from the hips. So the knees will roll out to the side and then roll back towards the middle and then roll out to the side. Now, if you feel that your hip is moving as well, so it moves out, then you're doing a hip roll. That's not the idea with this one. So we're just trying to bring the knees over and then back, keeping the hips still, and then out to the side and then bring them back. So we're now trying to see if we can keep something still while something else is moving. Not as easy as it looks. So knees out, roll them back into the middle, out to the side, and then back towards the middle. Let's do a couple more and see if we can create this movement in the hip. And then come back. One more, out to the side, and then come back, out to the side, and then pull back towards the middle. And now bringing both knees and feet together. Let's do some hip rolls. So we're going to let the feet and knees connect. We're going to lift one foot and then roll the hip off the floor, come back into the middle, and then roll towards the other side. So you create the range where you feel comfortable, but keeping the shoulder blades slightly pushed into the floor and the shoulders relaxed. And then back, and then just look up towards the ceiling. So your shoulders are not doing anything, and the rotation is from your hip and lower back. Let's do one more. And then turn, and then back, and then turn, and then just bring the feet back into parallel, and then we're going to roll up. So we let the knees go out to the side, top hand push up, lift, and then come up into seated position. Now just bring the knees and feet in, and then taking the arms out to the side. So adding just a lift with both arms. So we lift both arms up towards the ceiling, and then taking them down to the sides. And then lift the arms up towards the ceiling, and then back down again. Keep moving, 2 more. And then back down, and then lift, and then out to the side. Great, and that was a bit of core work today. Well done.